ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Reading from chapter 7 from Bhagavad Gita, as it is titled Knowledge of the Absolute, the title of the chapter, and verse number 26. Vedaham samatitani
वेदाहं संस्थितानि
vartamanani charjuna
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
bhavishyani cha bhutani
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
mam tu veda na kashana.
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
Vedaham samatitani
वेदाहं समतीतानि
vartamanani charjuna
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
bhavishyani cha bhutani
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
mam tu veda na kashana.
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
Any Prabhuji or Mataji would like to read?
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
वेदाहं समस्तीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मातु वेद न कश्चन।
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
मां तु वेद न कश्चन। वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
मां तु
वेद न
कश्चन।
Word by word meaning. Veda.
Veda.
No.
No.
Aham.
Aham.
I.
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 Matitani.
Matitani.
Tani.
Completely past.
Completely
Completely
past.
past.
Completely past.
Vartamanani.
Vartamanani.
Manani.
Present.
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 Cha.
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 And
And
And.
Arjuna.
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 O Arjuna.
O
O
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Bhavishyani.
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 Future.
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 Cha.
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 Also.
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 Bhutani.
Bhutani.
All
Bhutani.
living entities.
All
All
living
living
entities.
entities.
Mam.
Ma.
Mam.
Mom.
Me.
Me.
Tu.
Tu.
But.
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 Vedas.
Veda.
Knows.
Knows.
Na.
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 Not.
Not.
Kashana.
Kashchana.
Chana.
Anyone.
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 Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Personality of Godhead.
I know everything that has happened in the past.
I
I know everything that has
happened in the
everything
past.
that has happened in the past.
All that is happening in the present.
All that is
that
happening
all
in
that
the
is
present.
happening in the present,
And all things that are yet to come.
And
all
All things that are yet
that
to come.
that are yet to come.
I also know
I
I
also
also
know
Also know
all living entities.
All
living
living
entities.
But me, no one knows.
But me,
But
no,
me,
but
no one
me,
knows.
no one
no one
knows.
knows.
no one knows.
Anybody would like to read this page purport, starting from
He-
here?
Here, the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where Maya, material, and the impersonalities consider him to be, then like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in past, present, and future unless one is liberated from material contamination. He cannot know past, present, and future.
Someone else can read this page.
Yes, Prabhu. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing
Vishwan.
Vishvasvan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart at the super soul. But despite his presence in every living entity, a super soul, and his presence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as the Supreme Person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun, and the Maya is like a cloud. In the material world, we can see there is the sun, and that there are clouds and different stars and planets.
Okay. Someone else can read this.
The clouds may cover all these in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his internal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of the men. As it is stated in the third verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in this human form of life. And out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Param- Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness.
Let's all chant together. Agyana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya
Shalakaya
ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
Salakaya.
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै
Yena
श्रीगुरवे नमः
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपादान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवं सश्रीरूपं साग्रजातं स्वगणं रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण
Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sarlalita Sivi Shakanvitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute
Sapta Kanchana
Bhakta Kanchan Gaurangi
Ganesha
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Deshabhanu Sute Devi Mami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarvrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So thank you so much for joining this Saturday evening Bhakti Vriksha, where we discuss some of the top verses, mostly uh, referred verses from Bhagavad Gita. All the verses from Bhagavad Gita, all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita are from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his associates. So that's why all the verses are pure, but due to lack of time, we are looking at the top 108 verses in terms of reference. And last time we discussed one of the other 108 verses, which was 7.25. And today, the next verse is happens to be one of the top verses. So here, Krishna is explaining so beautifully about his knowledge about the past, present, and future, and how he knows everyone and no one knows him. So beautifully, Prabhupada has translated that Krishna is aware of the past, present, and future. So the knowledge of the Supreme Lord is being discussed here. And also his ability to know everyone and how everyone doesn't know him is also discussed here. So there are two aspects in this verse, as you know. His ability to know the past, present, and future. Samatitani, atitani, that means which has happened in the past, which has happened in the complete past. And then he also talks about vartamanani. That means he is aware of what is happening currently. And also he talks about bhavisyani. That means he knows about the future. So this is exactly when Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is referred as omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Omniscient talks about the knowledge, and omniscient means having infinite awareness, understanding, and insight. If you look at the dictionary, so Krishna is very much aware of our past, our present, and our future, but we do not know. We are very forgetful. We are forgetful because we want to enjoy without the association of Krishna. We have our own way. That's the reason why we are very forgetful. That's the reason why when people turn to a higher age, there is a lot of elements which strikes human beings, and that has to do with memory loss. And memory loss is a big problem in this world because nobody remembers anything, because our conscience and our consciousness is so low that we have so much of contamination in our mind. We're thinking about so many things. That's why we are not able to think straight. And that is what Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, I know about the past. And in chapter 4, we picked on that verse as well. When Krishna spoke about this Bhagavad Gita, what he is speaking to Arjuna, to Vivaswan, the sun god. And in this, in our method of Krishna consciousness, everything is a person. The sun god, who is actually boiling hot, giving light to everybody, he has a name, and his name is Vivaswan. And Krishna mentioned Bhagavad Gita to Vivaswan millions and millions of years ago. So that's where when Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that I mentioned it to Vivaswan millions of years ago, then Arjuna is saying, you are my cousin brother. How come you have appeared long, long back? And now in this verse, Krishna is so beautifully explaining that he is cognizant about the past, present, and future. We have very, 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 very limited knowledge. That's the reason why we do not understand who we are and where from we have come from and what is the relationship. And Krishna consciousness is all about that, to understand who we are and who we have come from and what is the relationship. And once we have understood this, you have understood Krishna consciousness. But for that to manifest, we have to go through these beautiful, beautiful verses and understand where Krishna is coming from and how to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So beautifully, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna about the past, present, and future. So, and he also knows about the dynamic nature of the future. So now he can say, your future is going to be so and so. But by virtue of our karma, our future might change. And he has control of the knowledge of what would be the dynamic future if that changes. So Krishna is a very, Krishna is a person. Krishna is not a impersonality. It's not a Jyoti or something which is engulfed from somewhere. And so Krishna is a person. He comes to this world to manifest his leelas, and then whenever there is degradation of religiosity, whenever his devotees are in trouble, he comes again and again and again. And as you can see here, Krishna in Dwapara Yuga is appearing. First, he appears as the four-handed form, as you can see in that picture, and then he takes the shape of a small Krishna. So like many of our mothers who go through the birth experience, Krishna was not born like that. Krishna's birth is very, very unique. And so that's why Krishna mentions one who understands the cause and the way of his appearance and disappearance, he can only. So Krishna is very special. As you can see, Krishna is appearing as a 400 form first to Devaki and Vasudeva, and then he takes the shape of a small Krishna, and then the Kanha pastime comes, and that appearance of Krishna as the eighth child of Devaki and Vasudeva is going to take place on Monday, the 30th, and this year we're going to celebrate. And Krishna appeared in the midnight, so we will have celebration all the way till midnight when Krishna appears. And there are so Krishna's appearance is very unique. So we can't really think about our way of going through the process of labor and eventually giving birth. It is not like that. Krishna's appearance is very unique and very fascinating. That's the reason why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his appearance, and nobody knows about his appearance. He can take shape in many different ways. As you can see in the second picture, when Hiranyakashipu wanted to, drown Mother Earth, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, came as a board to lift the earth so that earth doesn't get drowned. And Krishna very much knew that once upon a time in future, I will come when there is not a day, there is not a night, when I am neither man nor an animal. So that's the reason why when Hiranyakashipu asked for a boon, he very much knew that there is a loophole in that boon. That's the reason why here Krishna mentions he knows about the future. And Hiranyakashipu was very happy because neither a person nor an animal, neither during the daytime, neither in the nighttime, somebody can kill me. But look at what happened to Hiranyakashipu. You can see in the third picture, Nrsimhadev came neither as a man nor as an animal, neither in the evening nor in the daytime, and took out the intestines of Hiranyakashipu, who was troubling his great devotee Prahlad. And likewise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when there was degradation of Krishna's name in the 15th century, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in a very unique form, in the Gauranga form, as the mixture of Krishna and Radha. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam. Krishna will appear as Krishna, but not as Krishna, but as in different color, and that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as you can see, his appearance is very, very unique. And from this appearance, as you can know, that there was a future Bhavishyavani to Kamsa that the eighth child is going to kill. So he knew about the future. Likewise, when Hiranyakashipu was given the boon, he knew about the future. So he knows about the past, and that's the reason why he had mentioned about Bhagavad Gita to Vivaswan, as Srila Prabhupada is so beautifully explaining. And all these forms are very, very unique. We can go on and on about his forms, but the intent of this verse is to explain about the knowledge of Krishna's range from past, present, and future, and that is where. So Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He doesn't take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits its body and accepts another body like all of us. By virtue of a prarabdha karma, we take another birth as someone else. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon. But can we ever say that the eastern horizon is the father of Krishna? No, we can't. Because he appears and disappears. There is no born or dead for him. He appears, exhibits his pastimes, and disappears to exhibit his pastime somewhere else in some other world. And that's the reason why Krishna is explaining about his knowledge about the past, present, and future. So once upon a time, you might have heard about the news that there was a person who went out of National Security Agency because he found that the country is trying to record your conversation, record your phone calls and everything, and emails. So as far as that person is concerned, he felt the country is intruding into the privacy of the citizens, and he left the country, and so he was from National Security Agency. You might have seen that news. So here, with a limited knowledge of the past about somebody, where privacy is a big thing right now, but there is nothing which is private from Krishna. Krishna knows everything about everybody. So with that little privacy, he could decide to walk out of the country and go to some other country. But the point here is the knowledge of Krishna is so vast that you, by doing something right or wrong, cannot escape from the karmic reaction. And that is where Krishna is so beautifully explaining to Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, I'm telling you with all this knowledge that I know about your past, present, and future. So just fight. And that is when, and Arjuna, to eventually come up and surrender to Krishna, and then eventually take up the bow and arrow to fight, is a big thing, because Arjuna was questioning. It was not as if he was challenging and questioning, but he was questioning as a pure devotee. So the only way we can understand the Supreme is by being part and parcel of his process. So the appearance and disappearance is completely dependent on the Supreme will. So his appearance and disappearance is by his will. But we cannot do anything but in our will. We cannot do anything for ourselves for the will. We cannot do anything at will for the family members because we are spirit souls. See, the problem is we are having this material body, but actually we are from the spirit soul. We are part and parcel of the spirit soul. So actually we are spirit souls, but we have taken up this material body, and our material attachment has overcome the spiritual uh, linkage we have. The lineage we have come from is actually spiritual. But as we have taken the material body, we have forgotten that we are spiritual, and we are indulging in all kind of illusory activities. So we don't recognize that we are spiritual. So think about a situation when a fish whose constitutional position is water. Once you get the fish to out of the water, he is going to be shaky, and he or she is going to eventually die. That is exactly the situation of all of us. We are spirit souls, but we are temporarily here. That's why it is mentioned that this world is dukhalaya ashustakam. It's full of misery, dukhalaya ashustakam. That is temporary. So, in this temporary world, when we are here with so much of misery, we think because of this little enjoyment we're getting with Maya, that will give us full happiness. That's the reason why we have left our constitutional position. So when a person leaves his constitutional position, he gets into the kind of trouble. And Krishna hasn't forgotten, but we have. We have forgotten our constitutional position. And that's where Krishna is explaining so beautifully about his knowledge about the past, present, and future. And there is another thing Krishna is saying in this verse. Krishna is saying, I know about everyone, but not everyone knows anything about me. So in this first picture, as you can see, Lord Krishna, his expansion, his first expansion is Balram, and then there is quadruple expansions. But to get to the point, Garbhodakshay Vishnu is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Krishna. And he is residing under the hoods of Anantasesha, who is none other than Balram, and Lakshmi ji is massaging his feet. And from the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Brahma erupts in the stem onto a lotus flower, and Brahma is on the top of the. So Brahma comes from Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So Brahma, after being in this material world, he doesn't know where he has come from actually. So he's very confused. So who is the Lord? He's searching for it. And then he is not sure where he has come from. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Then when he recognizes that Brahma recognizes that everybody is saying this person who is going, gazing the cows, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But I don't believe that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what happens is once when Lord Krishna and Balram were taking the calves and gopas for gazing the cows, Brahma hides all the calves and kids, gopa kids, into the kamandalu. So, and now at that time, Krishna recognizes that Brahma is trying to test me, trying to play with me. So, what Krishna does, Krishna manifests as thousands of gopas and calves. And then the Krishna, in the form of these gopas and calves, the return from gazing the cows. So when the Gopa fathers are seeing the kids come back. The- They are seeing, they are loving their kids so much because these kids are none other than Krishna. Because the real kids are hidden by Brahma in his kamandalu. And the cows, by taking kisses from the calves, they are giving a lot of milk because it's the Krishna who is actually with the cows. And this was going on for quite some time. Then Brahma realized, then, so when these Gopas and cows, they were enjoying the Gopa fathers, Gopa mothers, the cows are enjoying with the calves because it's Krishna who is actually giving them association with the Vatsalya ras. And so when all these things were going on, eventually Balram knew that it is Krishna's work, that it's Krishna who has done this. And eventually, to get to the real point, after quite some time, Brahmaji recognized his mistake, and eventually he came uh, to the rescue, and he bowed down to Krishna and asked for forgiveness. And then he released all the cows, calves, and Gopa kids from the Kamandalu. But after that, after recognizing that this little kid is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wrote the Brahma Samhita prayers. Govindam Adipurusam Tamaham Bhajam.
Bhajami.
So, because of this Brahma Vimohan Lila, he came to the realization who he is. So even Brahma doesn't know about the Supreme Lord. What to talk about us? That's the reason why when you have so many people around this world who do not know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, and they're saying, okay, he may be God, he may be God, that other person may be God, and finally when they don't know that they are God, they say we all are God because we have Paramatma inside. So when Brahma could recognize who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, so what to talk about so many people in this world who can't recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is saying in the second portion of this verse that I know everyone, but nobody knows me. Because it's very, very difficult to know me because you can only know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead by understanding or getting association from one of his bona fide devotees. If you want to change a system, any system you should, whether it's a school or a college or your society, if you want to change the system, you have to be part and parcel of the system. Then only you can solve the problem. So if you want to understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to be at Krishna, as in Bhagavad Gita Krishna mentions, only if you ask submissively as a devotee, I'll reveal. So Krishna chooses to reveal himself however he wants. It is just that we have to surrender and ask submissively. Then only we'll understand. And we will also understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead only when we are in association with the right-minded devotees. Otherwise, we'll take birth and birth and birth, and we'll never know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. And that is exactly what Krishna is saying. Nobody knows me, but I know everyone. So we are very fortunate that we are making an attempt to know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this forum and trying to ask inquisitively various different questions. So Krishna, in the second part of this verse, beautifully is saying that I know everyone, but no one knows me. And even if we are inquisitive in remembering about Krishna, we have to practice that properly, because at the end of the day, more and more we practice, more and more you know. And eventually, we will not seek Krishna for money or inquisitiveness or to get knowledge as the four kinds of people. Eventually, we'll know Krishna because we want to love Krishna. So that's the reason why in our parampara, whenever somebody gives us a blessings, they say, let you generate or evoke that sense of liking or love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once the love for Godhead is there, then all those money, all those, pride and all those things will eventually leave, and we will soon realize the true essence of the Krishna consciousness. And that is where Srila Prabhupada so beautifully says that, the cloud can cover the sky, but even if there is a lot of cloud, even if there is dark cloud, there is light emanating from sun. Sun cannot be fully covered by the cloud. It can cover the sky, but it cannot cover the stars and sun. The light will always come. So Krishna chooses to reveal himself however he wants to do. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has knowledge about the past, present, and future, and he knows how he is going to appear from Devki as the eighth son, and that was already forecasted. How he is going to save the earth by Varaha Dev, and how he is going to come as half man, half lion form, not in the day, not in the night, to get rid of these Hiranyakashipus. See, the Hiranyakashipus, Hiranyakshas have gone, but they have left a lot of Hiranyakashipus and Hiranyakshas among us. So we just have to get rid of those from our heart, and more we get rid of our heart and chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
जी?
Rama.
ना?
So with that,
बपोरे जवान चलो.
I'd like to end here. If you have any comments, reflections, corrections about this verse, let's discuss it. And thank you so much for giving me a listen. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
जय. हरे कृष्ण.
Any question or comment anybody has about this verse? This verse is a very, very powerful verse when Krishna talks about his knowledge about past, present, future, and how nobody else knows him and how he knows everyone. So with that, I'd like to open up for some conversation. Even you can share your realization, because we want to get enriched by your realizations, not just a discussion one way, because this is more of a discussion forum, because Bhagavad Gita is all about discussion, how Krishna was answering the questions of Arjuna gradually. Any questions or comments, Prabhuji or Mataji?
Prabhuji, not on this verse, but after this season, I had some questions. I will talk to you.
Okay, bro. Okay, Prabhu, Preeti Mataji, Ashish Karuna Jagannath Das Prabhu, Niranjan Prabhu, Shanta Mataji, and Prajapati Prabhu. If you have any comments, please share. We would like to hear from you. We have Janmashtami coming up. There's
Yes,
a lot of
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, for Janmashtami, so it's on Monday, right, Prabhu?
That's right, Prabhu.
Yeah. So any services, Prabhu, from your side, so we can do in temple, maybe on tomorrow?
Definitely. So we have a lot of cleanup activity, a lot of decoration, a lot of cooking activities. Wherever you want to serve, please let me know by message. There are different people who are assigned to the cooking for Monday. We are cooking for close to 1,000 people. The cooking for Monday will happen during the daytime. If you're available in vegetable cutting or anything like that, that's there. And also, if you can also help in serving, because we will be serving prasadam under the tent. If you've gone to temple, there is already a tent there. We'll be serving prasadam under the tent. And however you want to serve in whatever capacity, please reach out separately, and we can connect you to the right group. And they are looking for help, actually, because in order to, like, as you know, in Rath Yatra we had close to 1,000 people. Likewise, it's a big event, So in whatever capacity you want to serve, it's not, as far as Krishna is concerned, there is no higher service, lower service. He is at such a plane, he's looking at us from such a higher plane that for him any service is the same. So there's no higher service, lower service. So take up service. In taking up the service, we will get rid of all this anarthas from our heart, and we will be understanding. Our heart will be clearer and clearer, and we will have so that we can welcome Krishna in our heart when he appears on Monday. And, yeah. So looks like there is no other question, or you want to?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So
Hare
thanks
Krishna.
for the wonderful class, and we look forward to the Janmashtami program. And I think Saturday we won't be having class, as you forwarded that we are going, we are
Yes.
having a trip to Gita Nagari.
Yes.
So I wanted to confirm. I see two dates. It's one is Saturday and one other one is Monday. Can you please explain a little bit more, like which day and how to plan and any rough schedule?
Yes. So Mataji, I think initially they had said they will go on Monday, the 6th, but after that, a lot of parents, they came back and said that it is the next day is school. That's the reason why they moved it to 9/4. So now, from now on, they're planning that form which I shared. It is reflecting 9/4. So we are actually going on the 4th of September, which is Saturday. So next Saturday there will be no Bhakti Vriksha. If you want plan to come to Gitanagari, Gitanagari is a rural community from where we get the cruel-free milk. Every Sunday we get vegetables from there. There is a Radha Krishna temple as well. So there are cows. So there are some activities around cows which are planned. So it's 200 miles from here, and so it's 3 hours from here. So the plan is actually the travel is all going to be done by us. But if you can travel, that is recommended because people have different plans. Somebody might like to stay longer. Somebody might like to come back earlier than 5 p.m. So and the intent is to basically have a group activity so that we spend some time. It's more of as you can see, Krishna used to have picnic with his friends. So it's a matter of having more of an association of a picnic kind of a thing in a Vedic atmosphere. So as more and more details around who all are going, who all are driving comes, I'm going to share with you, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, little bit talk about the Janmashtami. You spoke about that Krishna came when Krishna came to the earth. That time, Krishna born. That time, 400 form, right? So can you give some description how Krishna born?
Okay. So as you know, Krishna, there is a forecast that the 8th child of Devaki is going to kill Kamsa. And that's the reason why Kamsa put Devaki and Vasudev in the jail. And he used to come and used to kill the 6th. The 7th was Yogamaya, and 8th, when the time came, on that day, everybody slept. The entire guards and everybody slept. Nobody knew about it. So when the right time came, there was a lot of lightning, thunder. Everybody slept, and the appearance was very, very powerful in the sense it's an impactful appearance, because when a supreme personality is coming, everybody slept. Nobody had any chance. So when within all of that, when Devaki and Vasudev, they were in the jail, Krishna appeared as the 400 form, Vasudev Krishna, who is none other than what we refer as the Supreme Personality of God. Then when Devaki and Vasudev got concerned, Krishna took the little boy's form in the jail, and then the 400 form Krishna left, and that clearly, and then there was the other information like Akashvani that Yashoda was born with a kid from Nanda Baba. So Vasudev, you go and you deliver this baby to. So this happened. This place, this jail, was in Mathura, and if you've been to Uttar Pradesh, Mathura is probably around 25-30 kilometers from Nandagram, maybe 15 to 20 kilometers, if I remember. So Vasudev took Krishna in a basket and then went towards Nandagram, which is in the outskirts of the Mathura town, and Yamuna made roads for Vasudev. That's Yamuna's service, and finally Vasudev goes to Nandagram, swaps the baby, and then comes back. And then so Krishna's appearance on the Ashtami's night is very, 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 very auspicious. It is mentioned that when Krishna was born, a lot of auspicious things happened, and Krishna is not born as an ordinary child. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whenever Lord appears, as you've seen in the 4 examples, they just when Hiranyakashipu appears, when Nrsimhadev appears or Varahadev appears, so they all appear with a lot of celestial auspiciousness, and Krishna, when Krishna appeared, everybody, Vasudev and Devaki, were very, very happy. And after so much of sadness Devaki went through, Krishna's appearance gave her a lot of confidence, and our acharyas explain the appearance of Krishna, because it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita about Janma Karma Chame Divyam. That means who have understood the appearance and thinks that Krishna is supreme and is special. It's not like any ordinary person taking birth. He appears. He just appears. Like you go to India and nobody knows that you're coming, and you just appear on the doorstep. You're not born really. You just appear. So Krishna's birth is appearance, and that has to be recognized by all of the devotees, that we do not have understanding in a material sense to recognize his birth. He appears. That's why Krishna's appearance day. It's not Krishna's birthday, Krishna's appearance day. And there is and we can go on and on, Prabhu, but essentially Krishna is...
Sorry, Prabhu, interruption for sorry. Can small point here, Prabhu. So Krishna appear here, right? Mm-hmm. So Krishna appear. That means Krishna did not born from Devaki.
See, in as far as Kamsa's Akashvani, that he will be born, that is absolutely right. But as devotees, so we are devotees, right? So we have to recognize 2 things here. From a common person, there will be Akashvani. They will say the 8th kid born from Devaki will kill Kamsa. So that is that side of the story. But the other side of the story, from our vantage point, as to how we want to understand, we don't understand as Krishna being born like any ordinary person. We think, and it is proved in the scriptures that Krishna appeared. So we as devotees do not consider that born from Devaki. Yes, he was born from Devaki in a different sense, but for us, Janmashtami is Krishna's appearance day.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I got your point, Prabhu. I totally agree with you. My question is that Krishna just appear from the Goloka to here, and otherwise, or Krishna appear in the womb of Devaki and then he appeared. No, what is that?
Yeah. Yes. So Devaki in his past life had desire to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the child. So in that sense, it is he is in the womb, but these wombs get Krishna was in Devaki's womb actually, but when he appeared, he appeared uh, and uh, and that is where Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj explains so beautifully that Krishna just appeared from the womb, like Balram. So yeah, okay, bro.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Prabhu, for explaining.
Okay.
Thank you.
So any other question? This is a beautiful topic. We can go on and on about this beautiful appearance pastime of Krishna. Yeah, Devaki was Krishna was in the Devaki's womb, and then from there Krishna appeared. Any other comments or questions?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So just I have a small question, and so just I don't know like whether am I thinking right or not. So Prabhuji, sometimes I really inspired like some of the lectures, for example, Amarendra Prabhuji, right? The way sometimes I don't want his class to be stopped. Okay, like if he speaks throughout the day, I can even I can don't work and I can listen throughout the day. Okay, like the way sometimes some of the lectures I like, but sometimes I feel like I will stop, then I will do some work. Okay, so in this case, what happens? Though I should not think about that way, because anyone is speaking about Krishna, is I always I should listen that, right? But I sometimes I like someone's lecture is too much. Even I forget about what other my stuff. Okay, so how to then am I doing some kind of aparadha or something like that? Because is it coming under category of enviness? Because I should always have that desire, right, to listen all these classes, right? But someone classes I am too inspired, I totally forget about me, like I totally involved there. How to like make that balance basically?
Yeah. So your liking for somebody's class like Amarendra Prabhu shows your ruchi, and Amarendra Prabhu is amazingly positioned to. He has a lot of depth in the scriptures. He can compare and contrast our day-to-day examples, and he presents Krishna consciousness in a very simple and in a very likable way. So that is fine. But at the same time, there are so many other Maharajs who may not be uh, that opulent, but some of the points they come across, the realization they present is just out of the world. So all I can say is there's nothing wrong in liking and having favorite speakers, because we all have, favorite batsman, favorite bowler, favorite speaker, favorite scientist. That there is nothing wrong in that. But in Krishna consciousness, we have to. Krishna consciousness has many limbs. Katha is one aspect of it. But sometimes what happens is Katha makes us sentimental because we tend to like, then we forget that we have to do devotional service. We have to do so many other aspects. So that's the reason why, as Krishna consciousness is multidimensional, we have to recognize, some of our seniors who have experienced Krishna consciousness and who are presenting from the realizations. So by taking their views with so many years and years and years of experience, we get the nectar. So that's the reason why always take your favorite, as you mentioned, because Prabhuji is speaking tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the Krishna Kathamrita festival, which I shared in our Bhakti Vriksha. Please attend. Prabhuji is just outstanding when it speaks about Krishna consciousness, and he is going to speak about a specific topic tomorrow. Likewise, you should also take our seniors' views, because Krishna consciousness is not just a one-day thing. Krishna consciousness is a practice, it's a way of life, and it culminates after years and years and years of polishing the diamond, which becomes more sharper with years. So some of our Maharajas from ISKCON who are seniors, even if they may not speak eloquently, but some of the realizations they'll put forth is so amazing, and you shouldn't lose out on that. Okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, actually, I have just given the example of, and not only Amrinder, like I like most of the classes, but I like, just I've given one example like that, okay, but, so how to control that, but you explain. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, I will.
And also, Prabhu, Krishna consciousness is transcendental. So it kind of transcends. So whether you hear from A or B or C, you may like something, but everything you hear is going to help you because it's transcendental. It's not some mundane topic about some film that you hear from somebody is going to help you more because he can explain it better. It's not like that. As it is transcendental, anybody and everybody who is talking from the heart, and he's not talking about his personal things, he's talking about transcendental things. So that's going to help you. So thank you for having the ruchi for Katha. All right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, Prabhuji, you have any comments? Okay, if there is no comments, and we can end here. So let's all chant with bow and pay our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpataru
भगवत गीता
की जय।
Hare Krishna.
हरि बोल हरि बोल
प्रभु जी की जय। हरि बोल हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण।
प्रभु जी मूर्ति की जय।